Hello, celestial beings. It's me, Mel, aka Pocket Mystic, and I am on a mission to make mysticism more accessible and supportive through tarot readings, astrological updates, and guided meditations that fit seamlessly into your schedule. So, today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Virgo, which for the most part is on August 23rd. If you're on Pacific Coast time, it will be at the very end of the day on August 22nd. So we're going to be talking about how you can use this energy to plant new intentions into your life that will help support you with whatever it is you want to manifest. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit about working with moon cycles, then specifically the new moon in Virgo, and then some additional information around astrology that is happening during this time, because spoiler alert, this new moon in Virgo is really a gateway into eclipse season. And then I'll share a little exercise that you can do that can really help set you up well for manifesting on this new moon, as well as a tarot spread to help guide you if you're kind of feeling like, I don't really know what I want to work with here. So first, let's talk moon cycles. If you're new to working with the moon cycles, welcome. As I shared previously, this work has unlocked so much for me personally, and I am literally obsessed with the moon. The moon shifts into a different phase every 2.5 days, which means that every 2.5 days, there is a new energetic shift that can help us when we're feeling stuck or like we don't know how to get out of something. And if you've heard anything about working with the moon, you've probably heard that you manifest on a new moon and then you release on a full moon. That's because when the moon is in its new phase, it's preparing for growth, like a little seed that is ready to bloom. So you plant in the new moon, and then its fullness, the moon is preparing to wane back down to empty itself out, which is why we release here. So we're talking about the new moon in Virgo. You can, of course, manifest every new moon, but a way to really work with the energy is to work with the energy of the sign that it's in. So I think Virgos often get a bad rap on the internet mostly. They're seen as uptight or rigid, or they keep receipts. But that's not really what the sign of Virgo is about. Virgo is a mutable earth sign. As we know, earth signs are practical, grounded, and rooted in the material world. And it's also mutable, which means that it's adaptable, flexible, and resourceful. So of all the earth signs, it's the most adaptable, flexible, and resourceful. And it's ruled by Mercury, which I know you're probably sick of hearing about all the time because it has this propensity for retrogrades. But Mercury is the planet that rules communication and how we process information. And likewise, Virgos are meticulous in the practical, in the processes, the rituals, and the habits that they integrate into their life. They have a deep understanding that a good foundation is the requirement to set yourself up for success. These rules or sort of rigidity about how they go about their lives and how they sometimes think you should go about your life is, often loudly seen as uptight, but it's really just that they understand, hey, if I want to do well, I need to have the right support and system in my life. And sometimes this is why Virgos will also be seen as the mother of the group, because they have a nurturing tendency and they want to help set you up for your own success. So with the new moon going into Virgo, this is a great time to really look at the practical matters of your rituals and your habits that you're engaging in. How are they nurturing you or not? What habits do you want to plant in, and which ones do you want to prune out? What habits do you already have that you want to develop more? Additionally, this new moon in Virgo is a gateway into eclipse season, which will officially start on September 7th with the total lunar eclipse in Pisces, and then we will have a partial solar eclipse in Virgo on September 21st. So eclipse season started back in March. And when we're talking about eclipse season, it's also always where the North Node and the South Node are. So in this case, the North Node is in Pisces and the South Node is in Virgo, where we have our new moon. And the North Node is always like the node of fate. It points to the future, where you're growing into, what you're developing in your life. And then the South Node reflects sort of what you need to release. For me personally, this year's eclipse season is majorly rocking me because my North Node is in Pisces and my South Node is, of course, in Virgo. So it's having a deep personal impact on me. But this is not about me. If you really want to understand more about how this might impact you, I'll be doing a deep dive into this in a few weeks. But one good thing is to look at which houses Pisces and Virgo represent for you, because those will be the things that are really coming up during this season. So since eclipse season already started in March, it's good to go back and think about what were you thinking about, planning for, wanting to see change in your life in March? What was really coming up for you? Because those themes will be coming up again in this eclipse season. And it's great to use this new moon to plant your intention around those things. So if that all felt like way too much information, the summary of this is this Virgo new moon plants the seed. In 2 weeks, the Pisces lunar eclipse shows you what is ripe to dissolve. And in 4 weeks, the Virgo solar eclipse will help you seal this new workflow, these new habits, this new intention. And so it's really great to use this new moon to start that revising on your own, because otherwise the eclipses have a way of doing it for you that can feel a little rough at times. But again, there's nothing to be afraid of. The universe is always conspiring for your good. We can just use the energy of this time to support us more and make our transitions a little easier. So with all of that foundation, let's talk about action steps that you can take to be supported during this time. So an exercise that I strongly advise doing is to help prepare for this. And you'll want to do a little inventory of your life. So again, if it's really clear to you, oh yeah, in March I was thinking about this or this was coming up, that's a great place to start. But we're going to want to do a plant, prune, nurture list. And so you're going to want to write down at least 5 things for each category. So what are 5 things I don't currently do or don't currently have that I want to plant for? And then what are 5 things that I know are not supporting me and I'm ready to prune them? And what are 5 things I have going that I kind of want to nurture more deeply? So again, I would write at least 5 things in each of those categories. If you're feeling completely lost, I'm going to share the tarot spread in a minute that can help you connect with your deeper inner knowing. And if you're like, oh my God, I have so many things, that's great. Just write them down. Let it be a list where you're just dumping everything, but you're going to want to go back and refine. You're going to want to focus on the 5 most impactful things in each of those categories, because otherwise you're going to feel overwhelmed. And we don't want to be overwhelmed during this time. We want to be really focused and we want to be really practical and grounded. So once you have your list, 5 each, plant, prune, nurture, and essentially this will be your manifestation list on the new moon. So what you're actually working to manifest when you engage with the new moon. If you're not familiar with this work, I would highly recommend Moonology by Yasmin Boland, but basically it's having this list of manifestation and spending at least a minute really imagining what you're going to feel like when that comes into or leaves your life. But something you can do now is take that list and pick one thing, only one. I know that can be really hard, but what's the one thing that you can do that is going to have the biggest impact, that's really going to change things for you, even if it starts out small, and especially if you can start it out small. This is going to really help you ground these intentions. So you're going to pick that one thing, that one habit that you can add into your daily routine, and then you're going to write it down on a sticky note and place it next to your coffee maker or your kettle so that you can remind yourself of it each day at the start of the day. As your eyes take in the note each morning, say out loud or in your head, I honor the sacred in the simple. May this seed grow with ease. Again, you don't have to wait for the new moon to kick off this new habit. You can start testing it now and trying to build it into your routine. And again, make sure the one thing you pick is something you can actually do. So if you're like, I want to, write an hour a day, is that practical? Can you really do that? Do you have the structures to support you? No, maybe it can be 5 minutes, but you're going to want to pick something that you can do, that you can add into your, morning routine or your nighttime routine. But that's going to really help also build confidence in you and your ability to change and add in these new habits. Okay, so you have your manifestation list and you have your one new habit that you're adding in. And now I'm going to be doing a tarot spread that will help to refine and provide more clarity. It's great if you pull this spread for yourself because the reading I'm going to do is a collective energy reading. And so, especially if you're struggling making that list we just talked about, pulling these cards for yourself as an individual can really help. So, the first card will be the plant. What do we want to plant in our lives? The second card will be the prune. What are we doing or engaging in that isn't supporting us? And the third card will be the nurture. What do we already have growing that we really want to continue to commit to or to develop further? And so now I'll pull the collective spread. Okay, so the cards have spoken and they wanted to throw us a little caution with the Seven of Cups. So this card is about having many options or opportunities, some actually good and some not so good. It's kind of like having shiny object syndrome. I could go here, I could go here, I could go here, I could do this. So as you're thinking about these new moon manifestations, we're likely to feel all over the place. But Virgo is not the time for being all over the place. It is thinking about what is the most practical course of action, what is going to have the biggest impact, and what can I actually achieve? Back to what I was saying about making this one habit something that's actually achievable. If we go too big or we try to add too many things, we're likely to get overwhelmed and then nothing changes. So just be careful when you're going through this work. Again, do the brain dump if you have so many ideas, but then really reflect on, okay, what's going to be the most important or what's going to be the most achievable? And then for card one, what to plant, we have the Ace of Cups. So have you been wanting to feel more connected to your spiritual self or to engage more with your creativity? This is a great time to plant these habits in your life, especially with the North Node, the node of fate, what we're growing into in dreamy Pisces. Now you're saying, wait, Mel, you just said be practical. Now you're talking to me about my spiritual self, my creativity. Well, yes. Creativity and spirituality don't just happen by magic. They're a muscle that we have to practice each day. So what's one practical daily ritual that can help you to do this? Is it taking 5 minutes each day to connect with your spiritual guides or to meditate? Is it taking 5 minutes each day for channeled journaling or morning pages? Is it setting aside 5 minutes to work on your creative project? Don't overwhelm yourself, but do find something that you can make time for to build and grow these muscles. For card two, what to prune, we have the Lovers. And this card is actually about making decisions. It's about the tension between sitting in what is comfortable and in moving forward into the unknown. Having confidence in yourself that you have both the masculine and feminine sides of yourself to support with new ventures. So with this in our prune spot, the universe is kind of saying, hey, what's that decision that you keep putting off? And what are the habits that help you to feel comfortable with your status quo when you kind of have this yearning to do something different and to do something more? Is it just that you feel overwhelmed by the decision or the actions that you'll need to take? Well, how could you break it down to smaller, achievable pieces so that you can move forward? Because the thing that we have to remember when we're putting off making decision, we are spending so much energy because we're constantly thinking about it. This is not the time to waste energy on indecision. This is the time to spend energy in action. Now for card 3, what to nurture, we have the King of Swords, and this is perfect for Virgo because he is all about clear communication. So likely you've been practicing trying to speak up for yourself and say what you want. And that's great because we don't get what we want when we don't ask for it. And we're more likely to have people who can support us on our journeys through those kismet, serendipitous moments when we're speaking what we want out loud. People, for the most part, love to help when they can. So how can you be more active in communicating your desires with confidence that people will help you and support you? Keep advocating for yourself daily to grow this muscle you've already been developing. And one way you can do that is just every day. Write down what you want to do today, how you want to feel today, and what you're trying to build into your life. That sort of clarity that we can have in ourselves brings us deeper into our authenticity and deeper into our magnetism. So happy new moon in Virgo, happy start to the eclipse season. Remember, we really want to keep it as simple as possible. Our dreams should and can be as big as we want them to be, but we want to break it down into the simple, practical things that help us build that reality. I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions or want your own personal reading, please feel free to reach out to me via email, hello@pocketmystic.com, and have a blessed new moon.